Hello. Sorry about that. Feel like I should be a little bigger. And what? Hello.
Snake in China, they say. You must cross the river before you tell the crocodile he has bad bread. Do you know what that means?
You've said that one before. Okay, so the appointment that I had to leave for got canceled. So I took a nap, and now we're back because I left. Probably left you guys with some blue balls. I went back and got healed myself and filled up on healing items and ammo. And since they just gave me this rocket launcher, I'm curious.
Now, make me feel it. Make me feel alive again.
Okay, never mind.
Snake, you can't defeat me with a weapon like that.
I am clearly missing something.
The old science never depend on such a weapon.
Come on. Wait. I was missing the obvious. Or was I? Okay. I was overcomplicating this. I really don't think I've. I swear to God, if that dog shut up. I'm beginning to think that I really have never played this before or gotten this far.
Now, make me feel it. Make me feel alive again. Good. Now we can fight as warriors. Hand to hand. It is the basis of all combat. Only a fool trusts his life to a weapon.
Come here, you silly bitch. Why did he kick that chair?
That's good, Snake. Hurry up and catch me.
Does he pop up on thermal? Yep.
I'm here, Snake. Like old times. I've been waiting for this pain.
Oh, you a freak.
Hurt me more. More. More.
I know that these are all cool and iconic boss fights, but I don't remember most of them.
That's good, Snake.
What was that? Oh, a nice touch, actually. When I ended the stream, this guy was like twitching, but when I left and came back, he's dead. Kojima has very good attention to detail. Yeah, we don't need to see that again.
Make me feel it. Make me feel alive again. Good. Now we can fight as warriors. Hand to hand. It is the basis of all combat. Only a fool trusts his life to a weapon. That's good, Snake. Hurry up and catch me. Like old times. I've been waiting for this pain.
Can't believe I fell for that again.
Hurt me more. More. That's it. I remember that punch.
I just wanted to pause, take a drink. Jesus.
That's good, Snake. I felt that, Snake. Do you remember me now?
Can't be. You were killed in Zanzibar. What? Not again. What's happening?
Losing myself.
Is it over? Gray Fox. Colonel, that ninja is Gray Fox. No doubt about it.
Ridiculous. You of all people should know he died in Zanzibar.
No. He should have died, but he didn't.
What?
It happened before I joined Foxhound's medical staff. They were using a soldier for their gene therapy experiments.
I never heard that.
It happened right after you retired. My predecessor, Dr. Clark, was in charge.
Dr. Clark.
Yes, he started the gene therapy project.
Oh, that's a plot
Where is
hole.
he now?
He was killed in an explosion in his lab 2 years ago.
So what about this soldier?
Because they later
Apparently,
reveal that this Dr. Clark is a woman.
A soldier who was recovered after the fall of Zanzibar.
And that was Gray Fox.
But he was already dead.
Yes, but they revived him. They fitted him with a prototype exoskeleton and kept him drugged for 4 years while they experimented on him like a plaything. Today's genome soldiers were born from those experiments.
That's the sickest thing I ever heard.
They used him to test all sorts of gene therapy techniques.
Naomi, why didn't you tell us about this sooner?
Because it's confidential information.
Is that the only reason?
Naomi, what happened to Gray Fox after that?
The record says he died in the explosion.
I see. But even if that ninja is Gray Fox, the question is, why?
From what I could tell, he didn't know who he was.
Are you saying that he's just a mindless robot?
I'm not sure, but he seems intent on fighting me to the death. We'll meet again. I know it.
So you'll fight again? Until you kill him?
Huh. I'd rather not. But maybe that's what he wants. How long are you gonna stay in there? Huh? Are you one of them? No, I'm not. I always work alone.
Alone? Are you an otaku too?
Come on, get out. We can't stay here forever.
Your uniform is different than theirs.
You're the Metal Gear Chief Engineer, Hal Emmerich, right?
You know me?
I heard about you from Meryl.
Oh, so you're here to rescue me.
Sorry, but no. There's something that I've got to do first.
Oh, well, at least you're not one of them.
Romance for the ages start.
Are you hurt?
or just a like regular old romance?
Oh, I'm okay. I just twisted my ankle a little bit trying to get away.
Well, if that's all, it's nothing to worry about. I want to ask you something. I need information about Metal Gear.
Huh? Metal Gear?
Yeah. What's Metal Gear really designed for?
It's a mobile TMD. It's designed to shoot down nuclear missiles. Only for defensive purposes, of course.
Liar. I already know that Metal Gear is nothing but a nuclear-equipped walking deathmobile.
Nuclear? What are you talking about?
The terrorists are planning to use Metal Gear to launch a nuclear missile. You telling me you didn't know?
They're gonna put a dismantled warhead into Metal Gear's TMD missile module?
Wrong. From the beginning, the purpose of this exercise was to test Metal Gear's nuclear launch capability using a dummy nuclear warhead. The terrorists are just continuing the work you started.
No, you're wrong.
I heard it directly from your boss, Baker.
No. A nuclear missile on Rex?
So you really didn't know?
No. All the armament was built by a separate department, and the President personally supervised the final assembly of the main unit.
President Baker?
Yeah. I was never told exactly what they armed Rex with. I only know it's equipped with a Vulcan cannon, a laser, and a railgun.
A railgun, you said?
Yeah. It uses magnets to fire bullets at extremely high velocities. The technology was originally developed for the SDI system and later scrapped. We were successful in miniaturizing it in a joint venture between ArmsTech and Rivermore National Labs. The railgun is on Rex's right arm.
Metal Gear's main function is to launch nuclear missiles. You sure you're not forgetting something?
It's true that Metal Gear has a missile module on his back that can carry up to 8 missiles, but are you saying it was originally meant to carry nuclear missiles?
Yeah, but that's not all I think. If Metal Gear fired only standard nuclear missiles, then they should already have all the practical data they need.
No. Could it be? Metal Gear's co-developer, Rivermore National Labs, was working on a new type of nuclear weapon. They were using NOVA and NIF laser nuclear fusion testing equipment and supercomputers.
So they developed a new type of nuclear weapon in a VR testing lab, huh?
Yes, but you can't use virtual data on a battlefield. They would need actual launch data. These are some of the supercomputers. If you link these, you can test everything in a virtual environment. But it's all just theoretical.
So this exercise was designed to test the real thing.
What did our president do? If the terrorists launched that thing... Damn! Damn! I'm such a fool. It's all my fault. The truth is, my grandfather was part of the Manhattan Project. He suffered with the guilt for the rest of his life. And my father, he was born on August 6th, 1945.
The day of the Hiroshima bomb. God's got a sense of humor, all right.
3 generations of Emmerich men. We must have the curse of nuclear weapons written into our DNA. I used to think that I could use science to help mankind, but the one that wound up getting used was me. Using science to help mankind, it's just in the movies.
That's enough crying. Pull yourself together. Where is Metal Gear? Where on this base are they keeping it?
Rex is in the underground maintenance base.
Where's that?
North of the communications tower, but it's a long way there.
The emergency override system for the detonation code is there too?
Yeah, in the maintenance base control room. You'd better hurry. If they were planning a launch from the start, then their ballistic program is probably finished. And since they haven't called for me in a few hours, they must not need me. In other words, they must be ready to launch.
Meryl's got the detonation code override keys. We'll link up with her.
If we can't override the launch, we'll have to destroy Rex. I'll show you the way.
On that leg of yours, you'll just slow me down.
You'll need me if you're gonna destroy Rex.
I don't need you. I just need your brain.
I created Rex. It's my right, my duty to destroy him.
If you get a chance, try to escape. When the coast is clear, I'll contact you by codec.
How am I supposed to escape from an island?
Okay.
So what then?
I want you to hide somewhere and keep me informed. You know this place well, don't you?
Of course I do. And don't worry, I've got this. It's the same stealth technology as the Ninja. Foxhound was gonna use them, but with this I'll be fine. Bad leg and all.
Good. But I want Meryl to watch after you too. Meryl, the engineer's okay.
That's a relief.
I want you to look after him. Where are you now?
Very close.
There she is! Over there!
Oh no! Damn, they've spotted me.
Meryl, what happened? Something's wrong.
Did you hear something? Wasn't that some kind of music?
What did she look like?
She was wearing the same green uniform as the terrorists.
A disguise?
She had such a cute way of walking. She kind of wiggles her behind.
You were really looking.
Well, she's got a very cute behind.
Way of walking, huh?
If she's disguised as the enemy, you'll have to contact her when she's alone, huh? There's only one place where we can be sure she's by herself.
Where's that?
Don't be so dense. Here, use this security card. It's security level 4.
You're not in pain, are you?
Huh?
You feel okay? Nothing bothering you?
What's wrong? Getting all friendly all of a sudden.
No, nothing. I'm glad you're okay.
You're strange.
I'm a little nervous. Everyone else I've saved suddenly dies.
You're bad luck.
Forget it, Doctor.
Call me Otacon.
Otacon?
It stands for Otaku Convention. An otaku's a guy like me who likes Japanimation. Japan was the first country to successfully make bipedal robots. They're still the best in the field of robotics.
And Japanese cartoons played some part in that?
They did.
Why is this a thing that we're talking about right now?
I didn't get into science to make nuclear weapons, you know.
That's what all scientists say.
This is also footage from another one of Kojima's games, but I don't see how that's relevant right now.
Japanese enemies. Really, it's true.
Just sounds like a childish excuse to me.
You're right. We have to take responsibility. Science has always thrived on war. Greatest weapons of mass destruction were created by scientists who wanted to be famous. But that's all over now. I won't take part in murder anymore.
Whatever. All I want from you is information.
Sure. I know everything about this whole base. Ask me anything about Rex or about this place. Also, with this stealth camouflage, I can sneak in and out of the armory and mess hall. If you need ammo or rations, just tell me and I'll bring them to you. I'm on frequency 141.12. See you later.
Because I remember this puzzle as a kid. So I actually don't know what's going on. My memory is rapidly deteriorating. Because I remember the upcoming puzzle.
Well, it looks like you've...
He said 141.12, right?
You still haven't found Meryl? Snake, the warhead storage building that you're in. Snake,
He said that he would bring me stuff.
Snake.
Snake, there's an old Chinese saying. Snake.
I didn't think about that.
What's wrong? Snake! Snake!
Does her butt really make that noise?
Don't move. That's the second time I've been able to sneak up on the legendary Solid Snake.
You're Meryl? There's no way you could pass for a man for long.
What do you mean? Hey, men aren't allowed in here.
I had no idea you were so feminine.
This is no time to try and hit on me, Snake.
Besides, it's a waste of time. When I joined up, they gave me psychotherapy to destroy my interest in men.
Same smart mouth. You're Meryl, all right.
I don't believe you.
Not yet. After all, I was disguised as a genome soldier.
So why'd you change? You'd be a lot better off dressed like one of them.
I got tired of disguising myself. The truth is, the uniform smelled like blood.
What's that mark?
Huh? Oh, this? It's a paint tattoo. It's not real. I was a fan of Foxhound way back. Guys like you and my uncle were in it. None of that gene therapy like there is today. You guys were real heroes.
There are no heroes in war. All the heroes I know are either dead or in prison. One or the other.
But Snake, you're a hero, aren't you?
I'm just a man who's good at what he does. Killing. There's no winning or losing for a mercenary. The only winners in war are the people.
That's right, and you fight for the people.
I've never fought for anyone but myself. I've got no purpose in life, no ultimate goal.
Come on.
It's only when I'm cheating death on the battlefield. The only time I feel truly alive.
Seeing other people die makes you feel alive, huh? You love war and don't want it to stop? Is it the same with all great soldiers throughout history?
Why didn't you contact me?
My codec was broken.
Is that all?
Shouldn't you just be happy we met up like this? How did you recognize me in disguise?
I never forget a lady.
So there's something you like about me, huh?
Yeah, you've got a great butt.
Oh, I see. First it's my eyes, now it's my butt. What's next?
On the battlefield, you never think about what's next.
So Snake, how are the negotiations going?
No progress.
So it's all up to you, huh?
Somebody's got to stop them from launching a nuclear missile.
There are two ways. Either we destroy Metal Gear, or...
we override the detonation code. You got the card keys from Baker?
Card keys? You mean this?
Where are the others?
God, her nipples are pointy.
Keys.
This is all I've got.
Where could the other two be?
I have no idea, but they must be somewhere. If we can't find them, we'll have no choice but to destroy Metal Gear.
Metal Gear is in an underground maintenance base to the north.
Take me too. I know this place better than you do.
You'll just slow me down. You don't have enough battle experience.
I won't slow you down, I promise.
And what if you do?
Then you can shoot me.
I don't like to waste bullets.
Got it. I'll be careful. You know, I don't use makeup the way other women do.
Well, she's not like other
I
girls.
hardly ever look at myself in the mirror. I've always despised that kind of woman. I always dreamed of becoming a soldier. But I was wrong. It wasn't really
I
my
didn't
dream.
ask for your life story.
My father. He was killed in action when I was younger.
You wanted to follow in your father's footsteps?
Not really. I thought that if I became a soldier, I could understand him better.
So are you a soldier yet?
I thought I was until today, but now I understand. The truth is, I was just afraid of looking at myself, afraid of having to make my own decisions in life. But I'm not gonna lie to myself anymore. It's time I took a long, hard look at myself. I want to know who I am, what I'm capable of. I want to know why I've lived the way I've lived until now. I want to know.
Take a good look. You won't get another chance for a while. You should wash your face, too, while you're at it.
Yeah.
This isn't a training exercise. Our lives are riding on this. There are no heroes or heroines. If you lose, you're worm food.
Yeah.
Is that FAMAS functional?
Unfortunately, it's out of ammo.
Where'd you get that Desert Eagle?
I found it in the armory. It's a .50 caliber Action Express. There was a SOCOM pistol too, but I chose this.
Huh, so I got a leftover, huh? Isn't that gun a little big for a girl?
Don't worry, I can handle it.
Come on, use my .45.
Listen, I've used a gun like this since I was 8 years old. I'm more comfortable with it than I am with a bra.
I can see that.
If we're gonna go to the north, we'll have to go through the commander's room on this floor. The overland route is blocked by glaciers. The door to the commander's room is security level 5. This card will open it. It was inside the pocket of the uniform I was wearing.
Looks like he must have been guarding someplace important.
Okay, let's go. I know this place better than you. I'll be point man. Follow me. strange. There's no guard.
What happened to the music?
I'll keep a lookout. Make sure you're ready, okay?
It's a good thing you hooked up with Meryl. You should have seen the Colonel. He doesn't like... talk.
My head! Oh, it hurts!
What's wrong?
Don't come here, Snake!
Are you okay? What happened?
I'm fine. Okay. Let's go. Come on, Mr. Foxhound. The commander is waiting. Snake, how do you like me?
What the?
Do you like me? Hold me, Snake.
What's wrong?
Oh, hurry, hurry. Make love to me. Snake, I want you.
Who's that?
You don't like girls?
Please. Hang on.
Snake.
I was trying to choke her out.
What happened? Snake? Snake?
Meryl.
My head. Come on, Mr. Foxhound. The commander is waiting.
Are you gonna... Okay.
Snake.
Snake?
Useless woman.
Optic camouflage, huh? I hope that's not your only trick.
You
your past. You're a careless man, aren't you? And you're a poor warrior as well. However, you are skillful at eluding traps.
You don't gotta call me out like that.
Still don't believe me? Now I'll read more deeply into your soul. Your memory is completely clean. You have saved often. You are a prudent person. I can read you like an open book. You still don't believe me? I will show you my psychokinetic power. Put your controller on the floor. Put it down as flat as you can. That's good. Now I will move your controller by the power of my will alone. What do you think now? Can you feel my power now?
Why is Snake humoring this?
Demonstration is over.
Well, shit. Okay. Okay, so I realized I forgot to explain this the first time. The way you do it is by switching controllers because he fucks with you. Hey, Blackstone. We're fighting a psychic bondage freak. I just knocked her out.
Stop! Meryl!
Okay, hang on. I don't want to get this far in the fight and then fuck up. But I hope that you've been having a good day. Well.
No! It cannot be! No!
I apologize if you can hear my sister's dog. There we go.
Colonel, your niece is going to be okay.
Thanks, Snake. I owe you one.
Now that Mantis is beaten, Meryl's brainwashing should wear off, right, Naomi?
Yes.
Now Meryl can get back to being objectified like she was before.
For Campbell's sake, or maybe it's because you like her.
I don't want to see any woman die right in front of me.
Oh, really?
That's just a
Since
quirky
when
little
did
thing about
anybody's
Snake.
death bother you so much?
Naomi, it's true that Snake has killed a lot of people, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have a heart.
It's okay, Colonel. She's right.
Dog, no one is scared of you. You're a dog that wears a shirt.
I wasn't able to read the future.
A strong man doesn't need to read the future. He makes his own.
Perhaps so, but I will read your future. To get to Metal
And we just fought a cyborg ninja
in space,
like less than 20 minutes ago.
you have to go through that hidden door. There's a hidden door behind the bookcase.
What a good sport.
The Overland route. It's blocked by frozen glaciers. Go past the communication towers. And use the tower's walkway.
Well, we're here to stop terrorists from launching a tank that could launch nuclear missiles, a walking robot tank.
Read people's minds. In my lifetime, I have read the pasts, presents, and futures of thousands upon thousands of men and women.
Oh, gross.
And
Yeah.
each mind that I peered into was stuffed with the same single object of obsession. That
I played this a lot as a kid, but I did not.
desire to pass on one seed.
I think this is as far as I got. I've said that before,
Every living
but my memory of this game is very spotty.
exists to mindlessly pass on their DNA. We're designed that way. And that's why there is war. But you are different. You're the same as us.
This is what peak performance looks like.
No past, no future. We live in the moment. That's our only purpose. Humans weren't designed to bring each other happiness. From the moment we're thrown into this world, we're fated to bring each other nothing but pain and misery. The first person whose mind I dove into was my father.
I did not ask.
I saw nothing but disgust and hatred for me in his heart. My mother died in childbirth. And he despised me for it. I thought my father was going to kill me.
What's weird
That's when my future
lost my past
is that a few days ago her barking did not show up on the mic, and I don't know if like my settings changed.
Saying that you burned your village down to bury your past? I see that you have suffered the same trauma. We are truly the same, you and I. The world is a more interesting place with people like you in it.
So this series is a little
Agreed with the boss's
infamous because it has more cutscenes than gameplay
dreams
at a certain point. I don't know if that's true for this game, but it definitely is for the fourth one.
I just wanted an excuse to kill as many people as I could.
I'm just annoyed because she knows that she's not supposed to bark, because she tries to run away when people catch her, and she does it anyway. Also, sometimes when you catch her barking, she starts to look around like she's trying to figure out what's making that noise.
You're worse. Compared to you, I'm not so bad.
You're a terrorist.
I read her mind as well. Meryl's? I saw you there. You have a large place in her heart. A large place? Yes, a large place. But I do not know if your futures lie together. I have a last request. What is it? My mask. Put it back on. Okay. Like this, other people's thoughts force their way into my mind. Before I die, I want to be by myself. I want to be left alone in
I know. Well, technically, this is the only big bad that's died so far.
Open the door for you. If you want to find your future, go through that door.
Fucking Lee Van Cleef earlier just got his hand cut off and ran away.
This is the first time I've ever used my power to help someone. It's strange. It feels kind of nice.
And to talk briefly about
Let's go, Meryl.
I'm sorry.
about the Punisher, even though it's been like a couple
How could
weeks since I
let
read it.
Mantis control my mind like that?
If you're gonna doubt yourself, I'll leave you here.
I kind of agree with him.
You're right.
Can this cutscene be
Doubt
over?
yourself. Just let it make you stronger. Learn something from it.
You're right. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Snake, can I ask you something?
What?
About what Mantis said. I was just wondering.
What? What's the problem now?
Oh, no, nothing. So, tell me, Snake. What's your name? Your real name?
A name means nothing on the battlefield.
How old are you?
Old enough to know what death looks like.
Any family?
No, but I was raised by many people.
Is there anyone you like?
I've never been interested in anyone else's life.
So you are all alone. Just like Mantis said.
Other people just complicate my life.
You might already know this, but
I don't like to get involved.
a fun fact is that Snake's voice actor is also a screenwriter. He wrote the screenplays for the first X-Men movie and Watchmen, among other things. Oh, that's right. We had to change controllers so that he couldn't read our minds.
What are you doing? We've got to get a move on.
Yeah, his name is David Hayter. And every time when we were watching the first X-Men like a year or so ago, I forgot about that. But anyway, when we were talking about the Punisher, I forgot to mention my favorite part of the Punisher Max run is when that one mobster comes back into town and decides to film himself pissing on Frank Castle's family's grave, which is probably the most ill-advised course of action I've ever seen anyone take in my life. I assume that the idea was is that it would make him so mad that he would stop thinking straight, which didn't quite work. Oh no. I don't like having to do this. That is true. It didn't work the way that he was hoping. There were like a million better plans that he could have gone with. Is there another use for the cigarettes? I know you can use the cigarette smoke to see lasers, but you can also use the thermal vision for that. I forgot that we got the cardboard box. Was I supposed to get like night vision goggles or something? Because this is a little silly. Hang on, I wasn't looking. I didn't see that guy. Okay, that is helpful. I'm sorry that you're... I'm sorry, I thought that you were like a weird bot. I'm sorry.
Snake, what's wrong? I thought you were good with dogs. This place is mine. I'll take point again. Stay back, okay?
But the radar isn't working.
And since we can't use the mine detector either...
Leave it to me.
Why can't we use the mine detector? Actually, I'm banning that guy. I'm not dealing with someone with that name. Is she... How does she know this? Is she making shit up?
So, what do you think? Pretty good, huh?
How did you know where the mines were?
It sounds weird, but when Mantis dove into my mind, I was able to see where the mines were placed. Are you impressed?
Well, a little.
Well, Snake isn't freezing to death because he has the suit and they pumped him full of drugs. I don't know. They might have pumped her full of drugs too as part of being stationed here. But also, he said it earlier, but they gave... Oh, hang on.
Meryl.
What is it?
Meryl, get down! Meryl!
Did she shoot her coochie? Did I see that right? I looked away for like a second.
Snake, leave me and run.
Meryl.
I guess I am a rookie after all.
Don't worry, Meryl. It's me they want.
Even I know
Are you sure? Because they shot her like 3 times.
the sniper's using me for bait to lure you out.
Damn.
Shoot me, Snake.
No.
My gun. I can't reach it by myself.
Don't move.
I promised I wouldn't slow you down. I can still help. I want to help you.
Quiet down. Save your strength.
I was a fool. I wanted to be a soldier. But war is ugly. There's nothing glamorous about it. Snake, please save yourself. Go on living and don't give up on people. Don't forget me. Now get out of here.
Turn off your damn phone.
Meryl! Damn. Snake, it's a trap. The sniper's trick to lure you out. The sniper's waiting for you to go and help Meryl.
I know.
Get you off. Don't do it.
It must be Sniper Wolf,
The
Foxhound's
YouTuber?
best shooter.
Snipers
That's an easy
usually work
joke.
in pairs, but this one's alone, huh?
She's gonna dox you, watch out.
She can wait for hours, days, or weeks. It doesn't matter to her. She's just watching and waiting for you to expose yourself.
Yeah,
So, but Meryl
yeah.
can't hold out that long.
Snake, can you see Wolf from where you are?
There's nowhere to hide between here and the tower. She must be on the 2nd floor of the tower.
If Wolf is in the communications tower, she can see you perfectly. It's the classic sniper's position. At that distance, you won't be able to hit her with a standard weapon either. You'll need a sniper rifle.
Colonel, take it easy. I'm gonna save Meryl no matter what it takes.
Okay, it looks like we need to retrace our steps
Naomi.
Nothing.
way back,
I'm just surprised you're willing to sacrifice
pass
yourself.
through where we fought the
You
tank.
have the genes of a soldier, not a savior.
You trying to say that I'm only interested in saving my own skin?
I wouldn't go that far, but
I don't know what the hell my genes look like, and I don't care.
I don't know if they're
Operate like
Levi's or
instincts.
Wranglers.
like an animal.
I'm going to save Meryl. I don't need an excuse.
Lady, what's your problem?
And I'm not doing it for someone else either. I'm gonna save Meryl for myself.
Never trust
Meryl,
anyone in a
don't
turtleneck.
worry.
Snake, thanks.
I understand. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we need to...
She'll die if you leave her like that. Aren't you going to save her?
She's just bait. It's me they want. If I step out there, I'm gonna get picked off.
Yeah, I don't want to be lectured about that again. So I think there were night vision goggles that I forgot to get. I could technically ask Miller about the wolves, but I don't want to. But there are a lot of high-level doors back in the first area. Yeah, I think he's also, because they replaced him in this game series, they replaced him with Kiefer Sutherland, but they're remaking one of the games. And I think that he's reprising his role. No one was a big fan of the Kiefer Sutherland decision. Well, part of the problem is that, well, the game they did it in is controversial for a few reasons, but mainly they changed his voice actor for a game in which he speaks way, way less. So it raises the question of the point. But we also need the mine detector. Oh. Okay. I guess so. Why you gotta be like that? But what I was gonna say before is that they mentioned this in the intro, and they mentioned it a few minutes ago, is that, continuing the weird way this game treats women, Meryl mentions that... Are the lasers gone? Meryl mentions that she received hypnotherapy to remove her attraction towards men, which is like a crazy thing to say, and also doesn't seem to be true. You can't just like throw that out there like that's normal. I know. What would I need 2 cardboard boxes for? Oh wait, no, I know. But this series, especially the Metal Gear Solid 2, actually has like a lot intelligent to say about like a lot of shit, like social engineering and child soldiers and the ethics of war. But it also has a bunch of weird shit. Man. I don't like having to go all the way around. This is a bit of a spoiler, but the second game, like the main plot involves... Yeah. The main plot involves, and keep in mind this was in 2001, so, oh, hello. Would you like an autograph? The plot involves manipulating the internet to control information, to basically control how people act and what people think and what people do. And this is like in 2001, so they predicted these like bubbles / funnels / pipelines people get into. I know. The good news is that was the sniper rifle we were looking for. Okay, that could have gone better.
What's wrong? Snake! Snake!
So earlier today, I was reminded about the new Warriors book from Marvel that they tried to make a couple. I guess it was like 4 years ago at this point. That got canceled with all the Gen Z stereotypes. Now it doesn't matter if I trip the lasers or not because everyone's dead.
You got a PS?
Where the fuck did that man come from? Well, it literally never came out, but in a second I can pull it up. That was desperation. Okay, while I think through my life choices in a second, let me pull up the article. So this got announced like March 15th of 2020, so this was like 3 days before COVID. Let me pull up the web page. And this got massive backlash. As being it argued that it was supposed to like celebrate Gen Z and like give them like a voice. I don't believe that, and even if it was true, they should hire some of those voices instead of a guy who's over 40. Let me see. Some of these are not like offensive concepts, but there's this guy who is like his brain got connected to the internet after being exposed to experimental internet gas, and I think he's a streamer. There are these guys, these two called Snowflake and Safe Space, which is where I doubt that this was done with sincere intention because fuck, man. And they made a big deal about the one on the left being non-binary, and then they decide to call them Snowflake. So I don't believe that. There's this vampire called B Negative, and I think that's all we have to say about that. And there's this girl who has like a magic backpack. And hang on. New Warriors #1 hit stands on April 15th, and that just never happens. They took the first opportunity to get rid of that because the backlash was massive. It's really Snowflake and Safe Space that piss me off. But that was like that was a big point of contention back before we were worried about COVID. This was like the last thing I remember getting mad about. But yeah. So these characters, I think the vampire one has appeared. Hang on. He appeared in like an alternate universe, but these characters, except for the vampire one, don't actually exist because the book never came out. I think that's the fastest I've ever seen. I've ever seen a book get canceled because it was supposed to come out in just like 3 weeks after it got announced. But anyway, we can definitely do this. He doesn't like. People looked up the guy's Twitter, and he seems like a decent writer. And there wasn't anything worth canceling him over, but he does seem to just have a low opinion of today's generation. Okay. Let's try that again. It did have Night Thrasher in it. It was about Night Thrasher and a couple other people mentoring the new generation. I think it had Firestar in it as well. I can pull up the cover real quick. Anything to distract from this gameplay right now? I forgot about some of the pictures I saved in here. And you reminded me, speaking of people that age acting that way, we're not going to get into like Sonic the Hedgehog lore right now, but Archie used to make Sonic comics, and they're actually insane. And I mention this because among one of many, many things that goes on is that one of them opens with that famous poem about the Holocaust. First they came for the blank, and I said nothing because I was not a blank. The author took that and rewrote that to be about hedgehogs and echidnas. And that man is, I think, my dad's age, so he was 40 when he chose to do that. It is. He defends it because he thinks it makes it more mature, because he has a very, like, middle school understanding of, like, what makes your works, like, adult. Sonic comics are a huge rabbit hole. And also, I got reminded of this because the picture I had saved for this stream was one of my favorite bad Sonic artists, because the comic used to hire people who had no clue how to draw, like, cartoon characters. And this is my favorite one because the guy that drew this is Ron Lim, who is actually a pretty good artist. But he drew this fucking one eyeball monstrosity. I never actually, hang on, I never explored in here. Yeah, it's just really funny, these, like, good artists who are given something that they have no idea how to do. At the time, he probably didn't have a great reference because the game, Sega, the company, didn't really cooperate much. Hooray, it was not in any way worth going in there.
Snake, you can't use your radar in that air. Be careful.
I don't know if you knew, but the Bell riots from Deep Space Nine happened the other day, not in real life, but they happened on in the universe. They happened on, like, August 30th, 2024. Well, there's a Twitter account who's like live tweeting about it, or was. Actually, might still be. He's live tweeting about it like it's actually happening. Sadly, James Darren, I think his name is, the guy that played Vic Fontaine, passed away. I think that's his name. I still have not reached him in my watch through. I've kind of stalled on Star Trek because other hyperfixations have taken over. Yeah, no. I made it to the Voyager episode where they go back to the 90s, and I was really annoyed by it for reasons that I can't really articulate. And I'm still in season 3, so we haven't gotten to 7 of 9, but I have watched the first Borg episode of Voyager. If only they knew. I mean, they probably did know. That was the whole point. You can at least make it past this sniper duel. I really don't get what I'm supposed to do there. Am I supposed to crouch over him? I don't feel like that would work. I mean, yeah, it's not... I mean, the lawmakers have proposed things exactly like it in the years since. Because people like to pretend that the homeless epidemic is because there's not enough housing. Hang on. Okay, I thought I disconnected for a second. Man. I stopped paying attention for 1 second. I don't remember, because we can fill the space with something else if I lose interest after the sniper duel, but I don't think I shared my Marvel fighting game rosters on here. I think I might have once, but they've changed since then. Because Marvel doesn't... They have Marvel vs. Capcom, but they don't have solo fighters the same way DC does now with, like, Injustice. Get out of here. And my second Marvel fighter roster is notable because it has 3 out of the 5 members of Next Wave in it. Purely just because. Excuse me. I had to release my inner demons.
What was that noise?
I wish, because I kind of want to reread Next Wave, but I'm afraid of I don't want to give Warren Ellis my time anymore. I mean, I'd be reading it either on the Marvel app, which I don't think gives royalties, or sailing the 7 seas for it. So I wouldn't directly be giving him anything. And the Warren Ellis thing, because I recently, there's a new Human Target series that I read a bit of, and I was impressed with it and impressed with the art until I found out that the artist made an ass of himself defending Warren Ellis, or like trying to, less defending Warren Ellis and more trying to call out his victims for not accepting his apology, which is not accepting his worthless ass apology is not a thing they have to do. Hang on. Human target. It looked like it was an interesting book from what I read of it. It was a DC Black Label murder mystery set during like the Justice League International era. But let me see. Greg Smallwood. I'm pretty sure that's the guy I'm thinking of. Sorry, I'm just reading this. Oh, okay. This may be a heavier topic. Because he was defending Ed Piskor, who was accused of something and then immediately did something permanent to himself. So that's a little bit heavier than I intended to get into. I can't find any trace of the, it seems I was wrong about him defending Warren Ellis, so I apologize for that misinformation. Save.
Snake, you saw the Tomb Raider.
We're gonna need our diazepam to keep our work steady. Let me see if I can make out where she is. Gotcha, bitch. Are you sure that she's a really great sniper? There we go. Can't wait to show off my Marvel roster with Dracula in it. But where did Meryl go? I didn't catch that at first.
It's hard to miss when you're this close. Toss your weapon over here. Slowly.
Didn't I just kill you?
You are a fool to come back here. Stupid.
Was I supposed to go check on her body?
A lady sniper, huh?
Didn't you know that 2/3 of the world's greatest assassins are women? Do you want to die now? Or after your female friend? Which will it be?
I'll die.
I shot you in the face like 4 times.
Is that right? Well, at least you've got spirit. I am Sniper Wolf. And I always
Zip up your jacket, lady.
You're my special prey. Got it? I've left my mark on you. I won't forget it. Until I kill you. You're all I think about.
Take him away.
Okay. It turns out I should have saved after we took out Sniper Wolf. But hopefully we can do this. I think you joined after this part, Blackstone, but Psycho Mantis talked shit about my gameplay during the fight. He like read my save file and saw how shit I was at this game. I didn't appreciate being called out like this.
Hear me, Solid Snake?
He's tougher than I thought.
Do you know who I am?
Oh, we can look.
I knew that one day I would meet you. The man who stole what was rightly mine. The man.
Oh yeah, the guy that leads this fucking operation is Liquid Snake, who apparently looks exactly like us,
Me?
except with the tan, and he's blonde and he's British.
And now, after the sacrifice of our brothers, after 30 long years, finally, the two of us meet. The brother of light and the brother of dark.
Do you need his DNA too?
It's funny that you say that.
I want a sample while he's still alive.
There's not Gaseous Snake, but they do Solidus Snake, which is
Then we'll be able to cure
a different thing.
No, we still have to get our hands on Big Boss's DNA.
I guess I'm gonna spoil it. Big Boss is a legendary soldier that we're cloned from.
They won't.
So Solid and Liquid are like 2 of the clones.
One of them.
Is that your opinion as a Kurd?
They always put politics first.
That's right. That's why they want to avoid any leak about their precious new nuclear weapon.
Boss, it looks like our friend is awake.
I've been awake.
There definitely is a resemblance, don't you think, little brother? Or should I say, big brother?
Look at those ads.
I'm
Holy
not
shit.
sure. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You and I are both the last survivors.
Use him as a
of
cheese
Sol's
grater.
Big boss. It's me. Really? Then what? Oof, those idiots! All right, Raven. I'll be right there. They're not responding to our demands. We launched the first one in 10 hours as planned.
Damn Americans.
Looks like you read them wrong.
Something's funny. Normally the Americans are the first ones to the negotiating table. They must think they've got something up their sleeves.
So it's come down to it, has it? We're going to launch that nuke and ride it all the way into history.
I've got to take care of some launch preparations. You're in charge here, Ocelot.
Yeah, that's true. That's basically it. They want him for his soldier genes.
Time to feed the family.
So you prefer your wolves to my show, huh?
Ocelot, don't screw up like you did with the chief.
Yes, I know. That was an accident. I didn't think a pencil pusher like him would be so tough.
Well, his mental defenses were reinforced by hypnotherapy.
Boss, what about that ninja?
He's killed 12 men. Whoever he is, he's some kind of
I've killed way more than that.
Mister took my hand. How could he have gotten in here?
Perhaps there's a spy among us. Mantis is dead. We've also got to find out what killed Baker and Octopus. We're short-handed, so make this little torture show
Oh, so
of
the
yours as short as
Anderson that we met was fake.
This is an interrogation.
As you wish. See you later, brother.
Okay.
Your woman is still in this world.
Meryl.
Catch you later, handsome.
Lady, I'm not into you and your unsettling cleavage.
She doesn't think about anything else. Sometimes she even falls in love.
Come on. Grow up.
Finally.
You missed it, but they when Meryl was disguised as another soldier, they were able to identify her by her ass.
Too bad I was sleeping alone.
Glad to hear that. This is some bed, all right. I'm about to show you some of its nicer features.
Where are my things?
Oh, don't worry. They're all there. Washington was taking quite a chance sending you here. Someone must have had a lot of faith in your skill, huh, carrier boy?
So, Metal Gear's armed with a new type of nuclear warhead, huh?
Why don't you go ask Campbell for the full story?
The Colonel?
By the way, you got an optical disc from President Baker, didn't you?
What if I did?
Is that the only disc? There's no other data?
What do you mean?
There's no copy? If not, that's fine.
Is Meryl okay?
She's not dead yet. Wolf must have been feeling generous. But if you want her to stay that way, you better start answering my questions right now. You were holding one card key. Where are the other two? What's the trick behind that key?
Trick?
That weasel of a president said there's some kind of trick to using the key.
Hell if I know.
I see. No problem, then. We're going to play a game, Snake. And we'll find out what kind of man you really are. When the pain becomes too great to bear, just give up and you're suffering.
I wonder why they didn't include the remake that gives them actual facial features.
Press the circle button repeatedly to regain your strength.
Oh, thank you.
If you've had enough, press the select button to submit. When your life reaches 0, the game is over. There are no continues, my friend. Don't even think about using auto-fire, or I'll know.
Oh, they're breaking the fourth wall again.
Electric current through your body. If it's just for a short time, it won't kill you.
but I never heard that before.
You're a tough guy, Snake. But I've got some bad news for you. You're no POW. You're a hostage. There's no Geneva Convention. No one is coming to save you. Starting to feel a little scared. Good. You should be. Okay. Let's get started. Okay, here we go. How did you like that? Shall we go again?
Hang on.
Had enough yet? We're not finished yet.
I might not be able to do this.
Did it again. Sorry, boss.
So he was right. There is no continue. Which means... Not the beginning, but from the last time that we saved. Which was before Sniper Wolf. So I think what we'll do instead is do some correct tier lists, because I don't feel like doing that again, or figuring out a faster way to tap the button. We'll do some Trek tier lists, and probably only like 2 seasons worth, because it would be like probably 2 hours to cover every episode I've watched since the last time we did a tier list. Last time I did a tier list, I was still watching Next Generation. But let me pull that up. So, Sub Rosa is the one where Beverly fucks a ghost. So that just goes in F tier. Lower Decks is the one that focuses on the ensigns, and where one of the cadets that was with Wesley, who helped him cover up a crime, is there, and she sacrifices herself. I think that goes in S tier. I think I took like a 3-day break from watching episodes when I realized that I had to watch the fucking a ghost one. Hang on, I need to jog my memory. I've watched like 300 episodes, something like that, in what, 3 or 4 months? Let me fix this. Oh, it's a lot more than that. It's more like 450 episodes. Okay. Where did I put that? I completely lost. I was trying to look up something else, so I lost where I put that episode. But that's the episode where Data lands on a planet and gets amnesia when he's trying to transport something radioactive, which ends up poisoning the town, and then he gets attacked because they think he's spreading the sickness. This is the one where they meet a weird probe, as they do on most days that end with Y, and it starts turning the ship into like a weird ancient city, and Data is possessed by a bunch of mythological figures, which I think goes in B. You could tell they were running out of steam and scripts to use. So this is when like the Worf Troy subplot gets into full steam, I think. Like a crewman ends up killing himself, and when they're investigating it, Troy ends up like reenacting the circumstances that led to him killing himself, involving like like an existing murder and an affair. And it turns out she was just getting a psychic imprint. It was weird, and I think it goes in C. Genesis. Is this the nasty one where they like devolve? I think it is. Yeah. Where all the crew devolve into like their base animals. I think that goes in B. I think I watched these last few a little out of order. Oh, I put, hang on. Thine Own Self goes in C. So I think I watched Firstborn, which is when Worf is trying to make Alexander a warrior, and then Alexander meets a guy who is really aggressively trying to make Alexander a warrior, and it turns out that guy is Alexander's future self. And, I don't know. That goes in B. So this is like when Wesley's arc comes to fruition, when he comes back, and there's this colony of Native Americans who are in Cardassian space in the like demilitarized zone, and the Federation has agreed to give the Cardassians the colony because it was theirs originally before the treaty. And the Native Americans refuse to leave, and like the leader of the colony calls out Jean-Luc Picard specifically because Picard's ancestors colonized the ancestors of the tribe, which I'm pretty sure is made up. I don't know how he could possibly know that. But Wesley defies Starfleet and makes it so the Cardassians, well, no, the tribe just agrees to be under Cardassian rules so they don't have to leave, which is kind of an obvious thing. Also, the tribe here, it isn't as sympathetic as they as the episode wants them to be, because it's not really a parallel to them being forced out of their lands, because they came to this planet knowing that the Cardassians laid claim to it. And a bit of trivia, this and this Ensign Row episode over here, both were meant to like lead into Voyager. This tribe was intended to be the tribe that Chakotay is from. No, the tribe leader specifically said that Picard's, like, he named a specific ancestor, which I'm pretty sure is full of shit. Anyway, this is supposed to be Chakotay's tribe, but they ended up not going that way. So there was another planet with a different tribe that also was in Cardassian space. Chakotay, everybody's favorite. So this is a callback to season 1, where this Ferengi whose son Picard killed years ago without knowing what was going on, manages to kidnap this like 25-year-old guy who is apparently Picard's son with a fling that he had a long time ago, and he wants to kill him, but it turns out that that guy is not Picard's son. He just tampered with his DNA to make everyone think he was. And I don't know, I feel like that goes in D. This is the one where the Enterprise starts becoming sentient and turns the holodeck into like a weird representation of its like subconscious, which I think goes in C. This is the one where Ro Laren comes back after just disappearing shortly into season 6, and she defects to the Maquis, which goes in A, and was meant to lead because she was going to be a main character on Voyager until the actress turned it down again. So that was intended to be like a direct tie-in, but that goes in A. And All Good Things goes into S tier. It is, I think it's a, given that they couldn't really, since the movie, the Generations movie was like going to come out like 3 months after the finale, and they couldn't change the status quo. I think it's a great finale. So I'm not gonna get into stats here, but there's 6 in F tier. And 15 in S tier, so this is not my tier list. Hang on. Oh, that's right. I put the hang on. Sorry, that showed some behind the scenes stuff by accident. Technical difficulties. Okay, we're back. I swear that I did not make this tier list. Okay, no, this is the one that I made. And I'll just, because I've watched First Contact as well, we'll just do those two. Generations goes in... I think it goes in C. It's very rushed, and they just kind of had to go with the script that they had. The elements that are like bridging the generations are very perfunctory and could be edited out entirely. First Contact goes in S tier because it's the only Next Generation movie that I can call good without any asterisks on it. Is this the one that I was working on? So let's see, which one is this? Oh, this is the one where a bunch of like refugees come through the wormhole and they want to resettle on a landmass on Bajor that no one lives in, and Bajor tells them no because they don't want to deal with it. And I don't know, I think the episode intends for us to side with the Bajorans. But it's like, especially today, that it's a moral that really does not sit well. These titles are a little hard to read. Okay, this is the one where this like con artist comes on the ship and he discovers this like luck machine, and it starts playing with probability and wreaking havoc on the station. And the guy is played by Chris Sarandon, who is yes, in The Princess Bride, but more importantly to me, he is was the speaking voice of Jack Skellington. And that was kind of just an okay episode because I feel like he was miscast. So season 3 of Deep Space Nine is when season 1 of Voyager starts. So give me 1 second. It is it has been a long time since I've seen Gremlins or Child's Play. So this is the one where the scientist who discovers Odo appears because he thinks he's found a planet or something on a planet that might be another of Odo's species, but they go there and it seems to be kind of like a dead end, but then this like monster starts attacking the station, and well, tension between Odo and the scientist, because the scientist is kind of a dick. But then it turns out the monster is Odo, who's been infected with, I don't know. But then but then they fix Odo and the scientist. They're still not on like great terms, but they're not on as bad terms. Hang on. So the interesting thing is that that scientist, I forget what his name is, Dr. Morapol, he was supposed to be also played by Rene Auberjonois, like Data, and like Brent Spiner played both Data and his dad, and Robert Picardo played both the Doctor and the guy who created the hologram. But they realized that there would not be enough time to get him in and out of the Odo makeup and into different, albeit much less intensive makeup. So they just cast someone else. What is this? So this is the episode that I think starts the O'Brien Bashir bromance. They go they both are at a station dismantling a scary chemical weapon, and when they dismantle the last one, which is like, there's two different species who used to be at war, and they came together to dismantle these things. But one side of the two comes in and kills everybody, but Bashir and O'Brien managed to escape. And we eventually learn that what's actually going on is that the two sides of the war decided that anyone who knows anything about how these weapons are made needs to die, including the people that they asked for help. Including the people that are there for humanitarian aid. So when Sisko finds out and shows back up, he is pissed. He's like, I better not see any of your asses around here. Okay. So this episode, O'Brien... Hang on. I put that in great when it was Charlotte being good. O'Brien comes back and he starts to notice that everyone seems to be acting strangely. He came back from like an ambassadorial trip or something, like with these new aliens, and everybody seems to be asking weird questions about him. And he thinks that they're on the side of like these rebels that want to overthrow this alien government. So he starts thinking there's this massive conspiracy, and he's in luck when Odo comes back from a visit, and he thinks he finally has an ally. But then Odo gets compromised, so he steals a runabout and goes to warn the aliens. But it turns out that he's the replicant, which. Hang on. I think it's probably the start of the O'Brien must suffer trend or genre. This is an episode that made me really mad. This is when they receive a distress call from this planet, and they go down there, and it turns out that they crashed here and technology does not work here. And this lady, or this... they form this like agrarian technology-free society, and the lady that runs it is clearly a bitch. Like right off the start, because she gets mad at them for still for wasting their efforts trying to get their equipment working to get out of there when O'Brien and Cisco have been there for maybe 32 hours. And it turns out that this lady engineered this crash and used a weird machine to make it so technology doesn't work because she doesn't believe in technology. And she basically started a cult, and the episode doesn't acknowledge that. It seems to be saying, well, what she did may or may not have been okay, but these people discovered a new way of life. It's like she started a cult. She let people die because they didn't have medicine, because they didn't have fucking shit. This is exactly how cults work. She puts people in a box in the sun for days. She put Cisco in there because he didn't want to take off his uniform. Wait, no. She put him in there because she caught O'Brien trying to fix the runabout, which is not something you use capital punishment for. But anyway, that episode made me mad because it did not treat that lady with the way that she deserves. This one is better. Dax and Odo land on this planet, and they find this village, and at first they're suspects because people in the village are disappearing, but eventually it's, you know, they realize that it's not them. But they realize that people are disappearing in this village because this village is a hologram. Everyone who lives here is a hologram, even though they display sapience and sentience. So Dax and Odo eventually get the thing working, but it turns out that, like, the old village elder, like the oldest guy there, is not a hologram, and he created this thing. And they just set the hologram back up and let him just live out his life. And that's a sweet episode. Odo befriends a little girl. It's some good stuff. Well, yeah, but he got his I think the Dominion, who have been mentioned several times. Wait, no, I think. Hang on. No, the Dominion have not shown up yet, but the Dominion wiped out his people or something. He doesn't have a home to go to, so that's the closest thing he can get. But you're not wrong about that. But this is an episode where a Trill, like, initiate comes to work under Dax, and he kind of doesn't do very well because it seems like he's just wants to be joined with a symbiote because it's what his family expects, and she is kind of hard on him and feels conflicted about it because Curzon Dax was very hard on her. Is this the one? I can't remember if this is, but one of these episodes establishes that Curzon Dax died having sex on Ryza, which I'm pretty sure can't be true because we see him, like, very much alive, being transferred into Jadzia, but that's a different story. So this one is when a Cardassian scientist comes on board, and it turns out that she's Quark's old flame, He I forget what their thing was, but she's in the present. She's carrying two political dissidents, or like followers of a philosophy that the Cardassian government does not like. So she has to negotiate with Quark to find a way to get them on a ship that can't be traced. And Quark agrees on the condition that she stays with him, which he's not going to do. And but then they eventually have to separate. But Garrick finds out about this, and he makes contact with a Cardassian agent, and Cardassian agent says that Garrick will be reinstated if he, takes care of these dissidents. And Garrick almost goes through with it until he, mainly he realizes that that guy's not going to go through with it. Now, here's what I think is my favorite episode of the second season, is the one where Kang, Kor, and Koloth come back. I don't know if why they came to Deep Space Nine. I forget why. Oh, they were looking for Dax, but they didn't realize that it was that they had changed hosts. Koloth is my favorite in this episode, because Odo, he sneaks into the security office, and Odo's like, "How did you get in here?" And he just goes, "I am Koloth." That doesn't answer my question. Yes, it does. So that was just a very special occasion. And I wish that, because Kor is the only one that survives when they go to attack the big bad guy that killed their sons. I wish that all three of them had survived. No. Of note is that all three of them have a different reaction to Jadzia. Kor, as soon as Dax says something that only Dax would know, Kor is ecstatic. Koloth is takes longer because he's just skeptical. But as soon as he realizes that she can fight just as well as Curzon could, he's down. But Kang takes the longest, and it turns out that's because he knows that they're gonna die, and he doesn't want her involved. And she has to remind him that that while it may be a good day to die, it would still be great if that's not what happened. So I went a bit out of order, but this is when the Maquis show up. And I think this whole, I wouldn't say flawless, but I think this whole sequence, these two episodes, go in great category, because this is, I think, when Deep Space Nine really defines itself. The speech Sisko has, where he talks about how it's easy to be a saint in paradise, I think that's when Deep Space Nine really found itself. And this is a great Garrick episode where Garrick suddenly starts getting like spasms and seems to be dying, and it turns out they think that he's like has like a device that's poisoning him, but it turns out that that device is a device that when he's being tortured, you can turn it on and it'll flood you with nothing but like good vibes. And it turns out to this is for to like so that torture is ineffective, but it turns out that because he fucking hates living here on this fucking station, that he eventually just started using it to just be able to bear living here, because he's just nothing but miserable, and he eventually just never turned it off, and now it's malfunctioning. And eventually they have to or Bashir has to contact Nabrantain, who is like Garrick's mentor, and he agrees to like give him the stuff to replace the implant because he doesn't want Garrick to die, because then he won't suffer anymore. And in the process of this episode, Garrick tells like 3 different versions of how he got like exiled from Cardassia, and they're all full of shit. And that's when he says that everything he said was true, especially the lies. I think well, actually, he does tell the truth one time. He said, I forget why, but he says that he's claustrophobic, and that turns out to actually be true. That's like the one time. That's probably the first time that year that Garrick told the truth about something. This is the first one where they go to the mirror universe, which is goes in great, and that doesn't need a lot of elaboration. Oh, this is a Wham episode. So the Bajor is having the election for Kai, who is the spiritual leader, and the candidates are Bareil and Wynn, and obviously Wynn is horrible, so they want Bareil. But then evidence comes out that Bareil collaborated with Cardassia during the occupation, that he leaked the location of like a resistance cell, and eventually he's blackmailed into dropping out of the race, so that Wynn becomes Kai, which is like the worst scenario. But it turns out that he did not collaborate with Cardassia. It was the previous Kai, Opaka, that collaborated, and he was protecting her. This is probably the codifier for the O'Brien Must Suffer episode. This is when Miles is framed for smuggling weapons to the Maquis and put on Cardassian trial, which where the sentence is always guilty, and the trial is just basically just for show. But then they eventually get evidence that it was a Cardassian undercover agent that was going to that was framing O'Brien, and in exchange for not revealing that information, the Cardassians let him go. Yeah, goes there. Okay, so this opens with Jake and Cisco agreeing to go to an uncharted planet in the Gamma Quadrant on a camping trip. And Jake talks Cisco into letting Nog come along. But then when we were leaving, Quark also invited himself along, so nobody's going to be happy. But then they land on the planet, and eventually they find this like weird lady who's being chased by an alien called the Jem'Hadar. And I think I've talked about this before, but the Jem'Hadar is played by what's his name that played Black Lightning. And I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that I was able to tell that that was him after under all that makeup and 30 years younger. Or 20 years younger, rather. Yeah. Press Williams. He's disappointed because he was hoping that the Klingons would be the first one that he met. He really wanted to fight a Klingon. But they managed to escape the Jem'Hadar and come back, but then they realize, because the lady has like psychic powers, but she had an inhibitor collar on, and it turns out that that inhibitor collar is no such thing. All it has on it is a lock. So she was collaborating with them, and then they expose that, and she just leaves. And I guess we can get into a little bit of spoilers. The Vorta are never... A lot of black actors are like cast as aliens in general, but the Vorta are never displayed as having psychic powers ever again. And in that episode, she like looks directly at Odo at one point, but doesn't seem to react, which you could interpret as they didn't have that part written out yet, or just that she was deliberately not showing anything. I think we're gonna do the first season of Voyager and see how we feel, and this should be... I'm not sure if any episodes of Voyager are going to be considered flawless here, but we'll see. But luckily, the first season of Voyager is only 16 episodes. So they go... The ship Voyager is sent to go to the Badlands to look after Maquis, and then some shit happens, and they get stranded in the Delta Quadrant where they meet Neelix and Kes and all that. I'm not getting into it because I don't want these to take forever. But this is a good pilot episode. A lot of the things, because I've been like writing my own like rewrite of Star Trek. A lot of the things I would change are not things about this pilot, are just changes to the general premise. Like I would change Neelix a lot, and I would keep the name Kes, but I would replace Kes with a completely different character. And at one point in time, this was the most expensive television pilot ever made, and you can tell. I would also remove the part because Janeway got done kind of dirty, because she fires on the thing that could take them back home. She fires on it because she doesn't want to just leave and let the bad guys salvage that technology. And the fact that she deliberately destroyed their way home at the beginning of the series really set Janeway off on the wrong foot. I think it would have been a lot simpler to just say that the go home machine had been destroyed by enemy fire. What is this? So this is when they encounter like a weird spatial anomaly, and which is like the first of like 10 in these first 3 seasons, and when B'Elanna is officially made chief engineer, and also the Doctor's hollow emitter gets busted so that he becomes really short. I'm not being paid enough to recap these in full. So this is when they go to investigate some weird readings on a planet, and they get transported back in time to a planet that's about to like destroy itself because it's using really unstable energy to power itself, and it gets sent back in time. Janeway and Paris do. And luckily, these aliens look exactly like humans, but eventually they manage to prevent the catastrophe that destroys the planet, and the Voyager just goes on its way. This is the episode that introduces the Vidians, who are a species afflicted with the phage, which is a incurable disease that ravages their bodies, and they've resorted into to being basically pirates that steal organs to survive. And with the benefit of hindsight, I think that the Vidians should have been the main antagonist of these first couple seasons instead of the Kazon, because the Kazon suck. I don't know if I would include the Kazon, to be honest. But it has a cute part where they steal one of Neelix's lungs. And they can't get it back, so Kes just donates one of her lungs, which I guess is compatible. Hang on. I'm trying to remember what this episode is. So they find another weird space thing, and they go inside it to like gather stuff that they need. But it turns out that this thing is a living creature, so they have to go back in and suture the wound, not womb, sorry. And I think this looks like the episode where Neelix becomes the chef. He turns what turns out to be Janeway's personal dining room into the kitchen. And this is also when I think when the Native American bullshit comes in full force, because they talk about animal spirit guides. I think that goes in meh. Actually, that goes in meh too. This episode I actually like. They discover a wormhole that seems to lead back to the Alpha Quadrant. The problem is that it's the size of like a needle. Or maybe not a needle, but it's like barely small enough to get like a small probe through. But it makes contact, and it turns out that the guy on the other side of that wormhole is a Romulan. So he's obviously suspect that he's talking to someone from the Delta Quadrant. But eventually it turns out this Romulan's not a bad guy. And he gets to trust them, and they eventually figure out a way that they might be able to get Voyager back home, which obviously isn't going to happen because this is episode 7. But it turns out that that goes in good. I think it goes in decent. But it turns out that that let me get an exact year here. It turns out that he's from 20 years in the past relative to Voyager. So which is not only, you know, a long time to sit out events, but also is before the Romulans re-entered the galactic scene. So there's a very, very good chance that if they went back, the Romulans would just take Voyager and throw the crew in prison or worse. So they decide to pass on that, but they do give the Romulan messages to pass on when it's time, when time catches up to the present, to let the Federation know that they're out in the Delta Quadrant. But it turns out that that guy died like 4 years before Voyager launched, so it doesn't look like those made it. So this is kind of like a Rashomon style story, which Next Generation also did. Paris is accused of murder, and on this planet, when you murder someone, they take the memories of the murdered person, of like its last moments. Basically, they make you watch the victim's memory of you murdering them as punishment. But obviously Paris didn't do it, so they have to solve a mystery. And the mystery is solved due to what is just a straight up dog. Without it's just a fucking, let me see. I don't think there's a picture here, but they just show a dog without any weird stuff put on it and expect me to believe that's not a dog. This one I had mixed feelings about, so it goes indecent. They discover this planet where there's all these corpses that are like decaying in a weird way. They turn into like salt. And it turns out these corpses are being like teleported here, and Harry Kim actually gets accidentally sent the other way to where the bodies are coming from. And it turns out it's on a planet where these people think that when they die, they're teleported and brought back to life. And like their entire culture revolves around this concept, to the point where, because they think that you come back after you die, they're willing to kill people for just being kind of a loser. And when Harry comes in and throws all of that into question, they kind of just want to kill him because they think that he'll just go back to the place that he came from. But then everything's fixed. In this episode, they are faced with yet another opportunity to return home. There's this species that has the technology, has a doorway that can send you like halfway across the galaxy. So they try to... Give me a second. They try to negotiate for it, but it turns out the leader of these people is never going to agree to that. So instead, a handful of the crew, including Tuvok, decide to go behind Janeway's back and negotiate with another representative of the government to give them a piece of technology they don't have in exchange for this teleporting stuff. And obviously when Janeway finds out what Tuvok did, she is pissed. But it turns out that that technology is incompatible with Voyager anyway, so it was all for nothing. And I think... Lady, shut up. Dog, be quiet. I think this is the first appearance of Seska. Which is going to become relevant in like right now. So this Bajoran Seska turns out to be sending information to the Kazon, who are knockoff Klingons. And she says something about how she's dissatisfied with the way Janeway runs things, but it's really poorly explained why she would sell out the crew to the Kazon of all people. She says that they need allies, and then decides to ally herself with a group of deeply misogynistic aliens. I think that she betrayed them because she's a Cardassian and she was never going to be able to keep that fact secret for long. This is the first holodeck episode of Voyager, and the first time that the Doctor gets to have an adventure of his own. There's this Beowulf holodeck program that Harry Kim is doing, but then he disappears, and then the people they send in after Harry Kim disappear. And it turns out there's a weird hologram alien monster in there, and the Doctor has to find a way to stop it. And I wasn't entirely paying attention. So this is the one that's basically like Among Us. Chakotay and Tuvok come back in a shuttle that gets attacked, and Chakotay is brain dead and gets brought back on the ship. But then it turns out that there's this alien that seems to be hopping bodies, possessing people. And all of the stuff from that premise that you would expect happens. But then, near the end, there's a twist. The evil alien is actually has not been body hopping. It possessed Tuvok and was in Tuvok the whole time. The entity that was possessing people was Chakotay, who was trying to prevent the alien from taking over the ship and bringing it back to the nebula they were exploring, because that's where other aliens are. So Chakotay's brain was just around, I guess. So this is the return of the Vidians, where one of the Vidians captures B'Elanna because he thinks that her Klingon DNA might be resilient to the disease. And so he splits her into her human half and her Klingon half, And also there's a part where he takes off, where there's a nameless ensign that gets killed, and the Vidian takes that ensign's face and puts it on himself so that B'Elanna will like him. Which is like weirdly hardcore for this show. Where did I put that? I think that goes in... Yeah. I'm in need of a nap, so these two episodes will be the last. But this episode attempts to give more depth to Neelix. This episode features this alien scientist come on board, and it turns out that this guy is basically Oppenheimer. He created this weapon, this horrible, horrible weapon that was used on Neelix's people. And he says that because Neelix was exposed to some of the very weak fallout of it, that he has an incurable disease. And it turns out that that's not really true. The scientist is the one that has the incurable disease. But what he's trying to do is that he thinks that there's a way to... Because this weapon basically disincorporates people, turns them into atoms. But he thinks that the way this thing works is that these atoms, like, basically stay dispersed in this area. So he needed Voyager to take him back there because he thinks he might be able to bring the victims back. He's unable to. And Neelix pretends to forgive him so that he can die with an easier conscience, which is a little heavier than Voyager tends to be. So, I guess I should say this now. The first season of Voyager was intentionally cut short, I think. The episode after this one was, I think, intended to be the finale. And there were like 3 other episodes that were filmed as part of season 1 that ended up being part of season 2. But in this episode, the Tuvok is reporting that there were problems with the Maquis crewmen. They're not fitting in well, and he takes them all and into like a training program. It is an absolute unreasonable hard ass, and it spends most of the episode failing to get through to them. Let's see. I know. But let me... I think there is actually someone we can raid into right now. Vanny shouted out a friend of his who's having their birthday right now. So we should...
Any other ideas?
I think he is the first non-science nerd Vulcan in Trek.
So he's facing this way?
Yeah. But if you don't mind, we will raid It's Lynn, who is Vanny's friend. Any friend of Vanny is a friend of ours. One moment.
I don't want any hints though.
Yep. So we'll send our regards.